Um, Jack, you may enter. I'm ready for you.
Oh yeah. How you doing, Miss Professor Ma'am?
So, Jack, as you enter, you see the fiery skinned tiefling with the two horns, her hair tucked in between the two horns in a nice ponytail. She has this mock suit on as she's just sitting on the opposite side of this almost office like matted gray room that just has a table, no windows, no real furniture around here except a little potted plant in the corner on top of a stool. But it's just this plain, barren room with this desk that is almost like an interrogation room of sorts. She's sitting on the opposite side, and there's just one seat waiting for you to pull it out.
So lovely decor. Yeah.
Yes, I would prefer that nothing influences your answers. So, this room is an examination. Just questions about the previous two assignments. I just want to know some certain things, how you get along with your teammates, and so on. Are you ready for the interview, or do you need some time to yourself?
Um, I think I think I'm about as ready as I could be.
Okay. Jack, you see as she pulls up a a little sheet of paper that is just from your side, you can barely glance at a couple of questions that's written down there with some space under it. She pulls out a pen and she just taps the paper on the desk. Okay. So, Jack, I know how you did, but how do you think you did on these past two assignments?
Hmm. Teacher, as I look at you, eye contact, pensively stroking my chin. I think I did extremely average. Um, I mean, I believe it's like if I had to give myself like a letter grade, it'd probably be like a B minus, a C plus. I know people did worse than me. And that's enough for me. So
I mean, uh, straight to the point and honest, I was definitely not expecting that one. Um, you see as she scribbles some notes on that paper, and okay, moving on to the second question then. So Jack, what do you think was your strength in the tactile team simulation, also known as assignment one, um, the team versus team?
hmm. uh, I would I'd probably say my music. I'm definitely a you know one trick pony in terms of I suppose different fighting styles. But since my magic in the realm of magic, I'm a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? So definitely that.
You see as she just scribbles down more notes on the paper. She is unamused.
Oh,
Looks slightly annoyed, like this is like she just is like consistently repeating herself. I suppose that could be your strength. So moving on to the next one. What do you think is your weakness then in the team tactile simulation?
definitely the fact that I don't listen. I, my team made a whole game plan, and I did not follow it. Um, could that have cost us that fight? Probably. Do I regret it? Maybe not.
See, that was basically what I was wondering what your thought process was on that, but at least we both see it as a weakness. Because if I remember correctly, you just went invisible, and then for your team, everything collapsed. The enemy team gained everything there, but I'm glad we both see it as a weakness. Um, moving on though, so we don't take too long on this. What would be one thing that you would change during that whole assignment?
I would. Hmm, I mean, that's a good question. I actually think that I wouldn't change anything, mainly because I feel like how things played out is what's gonna lead me to be better with how I use my magic, and probably learning the hard way is how I'm gonna become a better listener, to be honest. So, sorry to say for my team, but if I could change it, I probably wouldn't at all.
From She lowers the paper just enough that you can see she's writing the words optimistic on the paper. She just okay. Um, would change nothing. So just this is not on the paper, but so I'm assuming you don't know what would have what you would have to do to win that fight, or do you know and you just willingly would not change that to win?
I have my speculations on what could have changed the tides, but the way I see it, it played out the way it did. We got bested. There's nothing wrong with that, and I mean, yeah, you never, you'll never know what's the right choice until the choice is made. So,
Okay. Um, as you know, as your homeroom teacher, I 100% want you to grow and be one of the top 10 students that will hopefully graduate on your fourth year so you don't have to get left back like everybody else. So I'm glad you're looking at a growth mindset. Um, Next on the list, what was the thought process behind leaving your teammates to fail?
are you referring to Czar?
Well, in general, the team had a plan, as I was
Right.
overhearing, and you just went invisible.
Uh,
And I saw, quite frankly, Czar, he doesn't do good in a panic situation, and you kind of threw him in the deep end, having him panic. So I just wanted to know what was the thought process behind that?
Honestly, I don't think I was thinking at all, because when I think back to that fight, I I realized that maybe it was a big part of the weakness, but I like to follow the music. I like to follow my rhythm, and my rhythm just kind of told me to do that, and I do at least remember at the time that I wanted to bait out one of the enemy's sneaky lovely person, and obviously backfired, but yeah, that was basically it, a blend of going with the flow and trying to see if I could trick the enemy.
Okay. Um, I have no questions on that one. I mean, it backfired, but I guess a plan is a plan of sorts. So, on this last assignment, what did you enjoy being more, the hunter or the hider?
I'm definitely gonna say the hider. I feel like hunting was never really my thing, and I mean, hey, listen, kind of pissing off the hunters who were hunting me. It tickled something in my brain.
Yeah, from the first two hiding challenges, it looked like it went perfectly well for you, and then on the third one, I don't know what exactly happened, but I guess we lost the feed. It just went black, and I saw that you didn't teleport right back to the room for another couple of minutes after everybody was there. So, um, that I suppose that I don't know what. Would you like to explain what happened there?
Um, well, this this guy who probably didn't go to therapy a lot. Um, he was pretty aggressive, and it was going pretty fine. But the timer went away. Um, there was like three of him, I think, or something like that. All I know, he probably gave me a sick looking scar on my chest. Um, could have killed me probably, but he was the one who got the most mad. It's pretty funny. Wish you could have seen it, but he probably didn't let you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Where I guess me and the other homeroom teachers will have to look into it, see what spells and incantations we can put on the perimeter, try to avoid that from happening again. But yeah, I knew a couple of students were dying during those assignments. I didn't really get to see much of what happened to them, but yeah, interesting. That was the one round you lost in hiding. So out of your teammates, so you, Marianne, Czar, and Triggs. Um, how would you rank your teammates? In what order?
Mm, I would say, I would honestly say, probably the best objectively in my eyes is Triggs. I feel like he has a knack for fighting in situations. He could be a little arrogant, but with the skill set he has, I think he can at least back it up. Um, Solid 10 out of 10 with him. No complaints. Fun to fight with. Um, not to say that I'd rank any of them poorly. But uh, definitely Marianne, I would like I'm using scales a lot here, makes it easier, but like an 8 out of 10. I feel like I feel like she might share a weakness that I have, which is battle IQ. Definitely, I feel like we're a little dumb sometimes, but you know, since I'm the closest to her, uh, but I think she has a lot of potential, and I think it's gonna be very exciting to see what kind of fighter and person she turns into. Uh, so I'm definitely excited to see that, and I would honestly give Zar the same thing. I think he has a lot of potential. Of course, like you saw, he's a very timid man. And honestly, with how frail he is, I can't tell if he's a dragonborn or a kobold. But either way, I mean, genetically, he has a lot of potential. And from what I saw him do in that first assignment, if he stopped being scared, I think he has a good chance to surpass at least everyone else in the team.
So where would you rank in this list if it's Triggs, Marianne, and Czar?
I would probably put myself last. Like I said, not a listener. I think that's a huge detriment in any situation. But um, also my magic burns out fast. It's like a glass cannon kind of thing too. I can get hurt easily. I could do a lot of damage, but not for long. And I probably with you know story stuff in my own life. I probably have a lot of mental things to sort through as well before I could really start showing off what I can do. So
Okay, so quite interesting on your own ranking, you yourself or the last one. Um, kind of literally the opposite of how each and every one of you fell during that first assignment. You put Triggs first, and he fell first. Marianne was up next, then Zara, then you. But hey, it's your list, it's your ranking. You speak so much about this music that flows through your veins and guides your actions. You do understand that as being one of the professors in the University of Arts, um, for graduation, we will have to perform some type of grand artistic display. You don't have to say it now, but I'm just curious. Do you have anything in mind?
I do. Um, Weird. Uh, I guess you could say it was something that resonated in a memory or a dream, however you want to consider it. But it was always something that meant a lot to me, and something that I hope I get the chance to get to perform when it's all said and done.
Hmm, okay. Um, then final question. I think everything for this interview went decent enough that I have the answers I was looking for. Do you have any questions for me before I let you go back to your own dorm?
I guess just one. It might be a little strange, but just out of curiosity, or rather, what or who would you say is a problem for this college?
Um, Seeing that we're one of the most, if not the most, competitive university of these lands, I would say the most problematic one would probably be Czar. Um, Too timid to release his own powers, to show his own usefulness. Um, we need people like, I don't know if you've met them before, but you'll probably see him in one of your classes, like Yennevier. Strong, burly young man, willing to take on any risk. You see the dedication in his eyes, and you can tell the group of friends that he has made have a really tight bond, but there's still competition within their own friend group, pushing them to go past what I've seen any student of these years go past. So I'm quite looking forward to Yennevier, but players like Czar is what I'm keeping an eye out because if they slack around too much, I might just have to send them home early to not waste their time, to not waste my time.
No, that's fair. By the way, is this being graded?
Um, it will add points to assignment 1 and 2, depending on the answers I receive and so on. But graded in the sense of A through F, no. It's just to see where the student's head is and to make sure that they are similar to yourself, having a growth mindset, to see that they are willing to take on the competition that is going to go on further down the line. Since at the moment we are testing what each and every one of you is capable of.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So, if you don't mind, you can head back to the dorm, and once you get to the dorm, just send Zar on his way. Okay.
gotcha. I'll do
Okay.
exactly that.
Thank you, Jack. I'll be waiting for Zar. Thank you.
Okay, of course. I was like, get up out the chair, and as I do, like, I'm looking at her, and I can't help but wear an expression of just slight disappointment as I just leave the room.
The last thing you see of her is this fiery skinned tiefling just writing separate notes down on the bottom, probably comments on the interview itself, and then just adjusting papers, pulling out a new fresh sheet. So she's prepared when Czar pulls up. With that, your interview is concluded as you step outside this great oak door and you enter the hallway. slowly going back to the door. Thank you, Jack.